Hi there, I'm Shyam from M2P Fintech. I'm excited to bring back the next session of Fireside chat sessions to you. Today, I'm hosting Nirvikar Jain, Global Business Officer and Head of Alternate Channel of Volopay. And we'll be talking about corporate expense management, its evolution, market landscape, and what it holds for startup and MSMEs. Nirvikar, in his diverse career, has been a CEO, a banker, and a strategist. An entrepreneur is also an angel investor and startup valuation and fintech expert. He started his career in automobile industry and has spent over 2 decades as a banker and payment expert. He himself has held positions at ICICI, Citibank, Bank of America, and Abu Dhabi, and also has been a Silicon Tech startup expert. He's also co-authoring an MIT publications called The Economics of FinTech, along with Professor Frank J. Fabosi and Professor Michael Imerman. Right now, Nirvikar is guiding Volopay to growth. Welcome, Nirvikar. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Shyam. It's my pleasure to be on this show, and I'm so glad that M2P organizes these shows and helps us share knowledge with the wider ecosystem. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Hey, let's get started. Nirvikar, first of all, I just wanted to start talking about the relationship between M2P and Volopay. Volopay has been expense management enterprise who's been solving expense management solutions for corporate across regions in Southeast Asia, Middle East, and is also looking at global expansion around the Americas and so on. M2P and Volopay, over the last few months, we have explored opportunities in Southeast Asia. But very recently, we started exploring opportunities in India, and we are very soon to be launching our product in India as well. I would like to quickly touch upon the challenges that I want you to touch upon, the challenges that M2P and Volopay faced in Southeast Asia, and also walk us through how it has been for Volopay to come to India and look at India as a market for yourself.
We have been in different markets. Now, while it's exciting, it's also difficult in the sense that we have to go to each market and build a whole tech stack based on local regulations, local players, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that has been a learning across markets. When we came to India, quite frankly, M2P, it was easy to find a partner because M2P has been a pioneer in this space. You guys have really built the default go-to stack for any fintech in the market. You have great partnerships with banks like SBM, who are the other kingpin or linchpin of the Indian fintech ecosystem. So yes, for us it was really a very, very obvious choice, and it has been a pleasure working with M2P and how we have solved problems. More importantly, based on recent regulatory changes, where we are making sure that we stay on the right side of the regulation as we solve problems in the Indian fintech ecosystem.
Great to hear that. Yeah, I still remember when Volopay and M2P together reached out to multiple banks in the Middle Eastern region and also the Southeast Asian markets, especially in Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam. It wasn't easy sailing, right? I think that's when we decided together that we'll start off in India. And SBM as a banker has been a blessing. And over and above that, the market is so dynamic and most welcoming for especially startups like yours to start off and start growing or creating innovative products for the ecosystem. Welcome to India. Let me formally welcome you to India. I want you to actually talk about the role of expense management in global perspective today.
Right. So what is really happening in this space is that the enterprise customers got automated long time back with the big ERP players who gave them that end-to-end solutions. However, when you talk about the small and medium businesses, and more importantly, the new startup ecosystem, that ecosystem always had this problem that whenever you start a business or run a business, expenses is the first thing you do. When you incorporate a company, the first thing you do is make a payment to the lawyer, to the company board, and so on. So this has been a big problem, which has been detracting SMBs and startups from doing their job. And what is happening globally is now we are getting tech stacks which are helping these companies build seamless, paperless, automated systems, which, while on one hand give a lot of efficiency, speed, and give them a lot of time and effort that they can spend on their core business, more importantly, they also take away a huge amount of risk, because payments, frauds and misappropriations are a very, very common thing in smaller companies. So these kind of systems give all of such companies a great sense of transparency, visibility, and control.
Awesome. I'd just like to touch upon the changes and adaptation that you have witnessed over this ever evolving industry, right? You have been in diverse markets, you have been in markets which are so dynamic, markets that are developing, markets that are advanced. What are the adaptation and changes that you have seen in these markets across the regions?
Really, so however advanced these markets have been, my experience has been, and even when I was the CFO for a Silicon Valley startup in my last role, the first day when I joined, the founder gave me 2 bags of receipts and invoices, and he said, "Here's your joining bonus." And then I deep dived and I asked him how he was managing, keeping track of expenses, and he was typically, like most small companies or startups, running an Excel sheet to keep track. So while at the top level technologies may have differed, the fact is this is a problem which is same across, whether you talk of Australia, whether you talk of Singapore, or you talk of India. The only thing that perhaps differed is that in some of the developing markets, maybe cost of manpower was small, so people solved this problem by throwing more number of people, and that is also now changing with compensation levels going up. Whereas in the developed market, it was a very, very expensive problem to solve. So smaller companies could not or would not spend so much money, and that would lead to these things. So I think this is a problem that probably has been the same across most markets.
Awesome. A quick question on a very interesting topic, right? What concerns majority of the startups or MSMEs, that very critical word is cash flow, right?
Right.
How do you think expense management solutions today support startups and these SMEs and MSMEs in their cash flow needs, or to manage their cash flow effectively, if I had to put it that way?
Right. See, one of the most important things that small businesses and startups need is visibility into their expenses. Now, with traditional systems or old systems, that wouldn't happen, because you would wait, you would have physical processes, you would make expenses, you would wait for the month end and perhaps a week or two after month end for closes before you have visibility on how much cash you have, right? So it was full of manual processes, receipts, so on and so forth, and processes. So this you wouldn't know what you're spending, and you therefore could not plan. So that was a big problem in terms of knowing your cash flows, your cash balances, and what startups especially monitor runway. Now, what happens with solutions like Volopay is that you have a real-time visibility on your expenses. You can see what is being spent by the second, right? The minute you do the expense, it's there, gets uploaded in your accounting stack. So you have a real-time visibility on your cash flow. Further, we are also working, you can use this to better forecast your cash flows. You have better visibility on budgets. Where are you spending the money, which heads, and which again allows you to predict your cash flows. And importantly, we are also in our future roadmaps building capabilities to build forecasts. So our system itself will tell you, based on your current expenses, that how your future looks like next 6, 9, 12 months down the line. So it would really become a seamless, effortless system that will add a lot of value to all of these businesses.
Amazing. I think you touched upon the right word, visibility. And I'd just like to add visibility and control that these enterprises get so they can effectively and efficiently use their cash towards, and also I would add compliance to it. So visibility, control, and compliance makes it far more effective for them to manage their cash flow. Now, just that helps me jump on to my next question, Nirvikar. What would I like to understand is what are the products or solutions that Volopay is creating or try to co-create with these expense managers or corporates to solve for this problem?
Right. So I will give you let me talk of the pillars, core pillars of our products, right? One of our most important and most interesting projects is virtual cards, right? Now, corporates and especially smaller SMEs and startups have had problems getting corporate credit cards.
Yep.
That typically they would have one or two credit cards. Many times it could be the personal cards of promoters, but even if they get it in the name of the company and those are shared. Now, let's say you want to cancel one of the subscriptions and you cannot, right? If you cancel the card, you have to go get a new card.
Yep.
And change it across. Then someone changes the terms of the contract, increases the fee. Again, you run into these issues. So the beauty of our virtual card stack is that you can actually issue as many virtual cards as you want. We just give you an overall limit. What based on your credit limit, you can issue one virtual card for each use case. So you can issue a card for AWS. You can fund it for a particular amount, and that funding is only available on the billing date. And so it could be a one-time billing. If you have an expense in office where some person does your incidental expenses, you can create a card without any limit and fill up limit as and when you want. Let's say he goes to the market to buy something, then you can put a limit on that. Similarly, you can set up departmental budgets, let's say for marketing, for sales. You can actually give a card to each individual, set up limits. So this is how our virtual cards helps people. The second product stack is bill pay, where again, what we allow you to do is actually map your real-time approval workflow. So your marketing department can have a particular workflow, like who initiates the expense based on the amount and so on and so forth. While the banking ecosystem allows this, but they only map your board resolution. They do not map your workflows, and they cannot allow you multiple workflows for multiple departments. You can set up budgets. So that's how your entire bill payment stack, kind of gets migrated to our platform, and multiple people can approve it, and you have a file which goes there, and actually you can push it out through our platform itself. And we are actually seeing a lot of interest from customers in the Indian market for this product, because people want to actually move away from some of the banking solutions because the value we add. And then we also, what we do is with our OCR facility, you can just email the invoice to us. It picks up all the data and it builds vendor dashboards. So it just simplifies, right? No more paperwork, no more scanning, no more emails, approvals, no more physical signatures, and a great audit trail. So that's the second stack. Third stack is our expense reimbursement program. So similar to like bill payment, your employees can actually raise their expenses on the platform, upload all the bills, and they get approved, and they are directly paid to their bank account. And finally, we are also working on a receivable functionality where you will be able to receive monies into your account, and down the line also issue invoices. So you basically get a business account in a box solution.
Yeah. Awesome. Good to know what you're building. It's very interesting. That leads me to my next question, Nirvikar. Personally, I believe that India is the engine for any payments uh, innovation for the world. But what I would like to know is, based on your experience of working in multiple markets, especially Volopay launching products across markets, is there any type of corporate expense management solution that you have built in other markets which you feel India needs to adapt, or that's not available, or the market is not ready? It will be interesting to know
Right.
that.
Yeah, so one of our solutions, and I did not talk about it because it's not available in India, is a multi-currency wallet. So let's say our customers in Southeast Asia or down under in Australia, they have multi-currency billing. What it allows them is we give them multi-currency wallets, and these wallets are available in, or these are virtual accounts, so they can collect money in different jurisdictions through local as local payments. So in US you could do ACH or wires, or in Europe you could do SEPA transfers, or in UK you could do fast payments. So you can collect all these monies, and they come much faster because they come through the domestic payment rails, and they sit in your virtual account, single virtual account.
Okay.
Now you do not have to convert the money into your home currency or base currency. So you save a lot of, so you get speed, you get savings of transfer fees. Third is we also allow you to convert the money right from the dashboard at very, very competitive rates. So you save a lot, especially small businesses who are charged a lot of fee by the big banks. They save a lot of money. Now this is a product which some of our customers love it, right? They have all these multi-currency wallets. Now in India, this is a solution which, of course, for the right reasons, the regulator has, India is anyways a very controlled market in terms of foreign exchange regulation. But this is a product that can really add value to the exporters, to a lot of these people who have incomes in multi-currencies and expenses also. We do have a framework called Exchange Earners Foreign Currency Account, but it's a lot more complex, and it doesn't run in this seamless manner. But should also point out the fact that there are a few sandbox experiments that are running under the RBI Innovation Hub.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that we feel would be a great solution for Indian exporters.
Very interesting. No, interesting to know, right? That also leads, creates the interest of the business guy in me. That I think we have a product to create together. Very interesting to know that you have an EEFC product that solves for payments coming in. There are products which are bits and pieces together, which can be stitched together from a regulatory standpoint. As you rightly said, RBI is also working on a sandbox environment for outbound remittances using different rails of money going through, tightly coupled with the FEMA regulations, right?
Right.
I think that's an interesting offline conversation that we should have to see what we can do there to create products. Thanks for that hint. I'll just jump on, right? Interesting aspect of next question I would like to ask you, sorry for that, is in different geographies, right? Wherever you are working, there are different products. What do you think is one common and large expense that a corporate takes? And what is the one expense that is different between countries, but that significantly occupies a large pie in the expense management?
So I would say, again, looking at expenses, typical categories could be raw materials, which is non-card rails, which is bill payment, travel and entertainment, which is pretty much common across geographies, right? And then there is huge software and services expense, which may vary by the nature of the business. If it's a traditional manufacturing business, it may not have much. But typically, a startup would have their AWS payments, Azure payments, a lot of software subscriptions, typically. And in a lot of cases, if there's a big sales force, then that's also a use case that we see, right? Because you want to give a card and control and monitor expenses.
Correct.
So I would say, actually, the world really is become a one big village, and these themes vary only by the nature of the business. I wouldn't I don't think you can really say that the nature varies from country to country. It's more based on what is the underlying business.
Awesome. That leads me to a product fit question, right?
Right.
How important do you feel or these credit-based products for MSMEs or startups, especially for business that are operating globally?
Right. Credit is, of course, a very, very important function. And as we all know, in the banking ecosystem, the top big clients get serviced very well because they take large volumes. The consumers get serviced very well because they provide liquidity and risk is distributed. So, world over, startups and small businesses are the ones who have traditionally faced a shortage in getting access to credit and working capital. So this is a great solution, right? All our, as I was mentioning earlier, that getting credit cards or credit cards is so difficult and cumbersome in the traditional system. That is where we add value. We give a single credit line, and then you can issue your own cards on your own dashboard. It does give you right a lot of liquidity to manage your short term gaps. Maybe if your billing is on a monthly basis, but you have to pay for your expenses through the month, you can use our credit cards, our credit availability, and then balance. So that's really the big question, which the banking industry, financial service industry is trying to answer. How do you give access to better credit, more credit to these smaller enterprises and businesses? And more importantly, if we also include our receivable function, the point is we have full visibility on the entire cash flow. So then we can actually build very robust integrated solutions, which give us much better predictions on credit quality, which the whole information contained in the platform allows you to do that.
Great. So while we're talking about payments, especially in India, no topic is complete if you don't talk about UPI. Okay.
Right.
It's the most innovative payment product ever in the last few decades. And the best part of UPI is it's been going through multiple levels of innovations, right? It's been used for regular bank and OD accounts. Very recently, UPI for PPI was launched. And just a few weeks back, the great news of ability to use UPI on a credit card product, right? Since now that is getting opened up, how do you see UPI fitting into this expense management solutions? And how do you see these technology and innovations that can be integrated into the payment ecosystem when it comes to B2B payments?
Right. No, of course. I'm proud of what the Indian regulator financial industry has done with UPI, making it without doubt the largest and most advanced payment system, real-time payment system anywhere in the world. I beat my chest and say that it's from India. So I do agree with what we've done and revolutionized the whole ecosystem. So it's the thought of bringing UPI or credit cards on UPI or integrating it with B2B payments is a great idea. It's already being used by small businesses. In fact, the whole idea of QR code, the single QR code, that's also a great innovation which has really simplified adoption of UPI on the consumer side. But on the large business side, of course, we are getting a lot of inquiries about integration of UPI into our platform, and we are looking at it, and we will integrate it at some point of time, in our roadmap. The other important thing I think that you raised is credit, in linking credit cards to UPI. So I think that's actually a great idea. Right now, the problem is that either you choose the rail, that whether you pay through the banking rails, through your bank account, or do you pay through the credit card. You cannot mix the two. Otherwise, these rails don't talk. Or the big question is really who bears the cost of credit on UPI rails. On the credit card rails, the interchange or the MDR pays for that credit. So I think that's I mean, point number one, it's a great innovation. It will integrate both of the rails seamlessly. However, there are a few hoops that need to be kind of crossed, right, and a few questions that need to be answered in terms of what are the economics going to be, who's going to bear this cost, and how is the entire payment infrastructure industry going to be compensated for building it as an integrated and seamless part of the payments rail.
Good to know that you are considering UPI, because a lot of people think while UPI pricing strategy will change over a period of time is what we very strongly believe in. We personally also believe that it will fit right into the ecosystem when it comes to expense management solutions for real-time payments, right? That's going to keep a lot of people happy as well.
Right.
Volopay is working in dynamic markets, ever-evolving product solutions, very dynamic condition from a customer standpoint, different sets of customers, and so on. RBI also has been a very forthcoming, but also with stringent regulations, very clearly defined regulations about how you operate in India. But you've been operating in multiple markets. How do you manage these local compliance regulations for these companies that you work with from an end-to-end expense management solution standpoint?
So as a fintech, as a responsible fintech, we are all of us, our founding team, our senior leadership team, we are absolutely clear that we want to work be on the right side of the regulation always. We have strong processes internally where we review everything. We work with our partners like yourself, in various markets to review various regulations and compliances and make sure we build products, services, and solutions which fit completely into the solution, right? So we have to work together as an ecosystem so that we can move forward. That's really our philosophy, and we work very, very closely with our ecosystem partner in each of the jurisdictions.
Great. Nirvikar, I just would like to talk about the Volopay business model, right? And what response do you get when you pitch about your current solutions to these dynamic business across the markets? And how is Volopay tackling the challenges that comes and confronts you when you're actually pitching the product?
Right. So different markets have different characteristics. So let's say some markets, right, the more developed markets, there the cost of manpower is very high. So such a solution delivers straight cost savings, right? As I was mentioning earlier, that in the Western markets, developed markets, cost of one accounting resource could be a few $1,000s per year, $50,000, $75,000, or so on. So if you get a solution which allows you to do things with less people, that's a straight addition to the bottom line, apart from control, visibility, transparency. So those markets are very open to paying you a SaaS fee for these services. Second is also, point is also the interchange or MDR in that market, because finally the payment infrastructure industry needs to be paid for the efforts they're bringing, the way they're seamlessly building these rails to allow money to move seamlessly. So that is the other thing. That's how such companies make money, by sharing a piece of that revenue. So that's one pillar, the cost of manpower, accounting manpower. Second is the interchange rates in a particular market. And third is perhaps maybe more developing markets where traditionally the cost of manpower has been less. So people have solved these by throwing people at it. And perhaps in India, at least in my experience, people have been averse to paying for services. So we do come across questions like, why should we pay a SaaS, and so on and so forth. However, how we tackle this is, so sometimes people ask us, why are you charging us for making a payment? Our bank gives it to us for free. So really the question or the response that our sales team gives to them is, we are not only processing a payment, right? What we are doing is we're building a whole system, thorough system around your payment process. So you can throw an invoice at us. We scan it, and it's 99.5% accuracy. So with a very high accuracy. So no one is entering those fields. It goes into a dashboard. It gets integrated with your approval workflow. So we add a lot more value to that whole process. It's not just like uploading a file and making the payment. And actually, I'm very pleasantly surprised that in the last few months we've seen customers actually open to these responses. We've also seen customers actually moving from banks to ourselves because they exactly want to solve this whole problem of approval workflows and audits and audit trails and so on and so forth. So yeah, really you have to, all businesses, I am a firm believer that you have to talk value. You can't talk price. So you show the value. And if you can show a real value delivered, then hopefully, customers are more amenable to pay the price.
Awesome. I think you answered my next question. So probably I'll jump on to more to do with the partnerships that you have been making across multiple platforms like CRM, payments, insurance, and other industry leaders. What is the importance of these partnerships for Volopay and the integrations for building something like a bank in a box model, right, for these solutions?
See, so our vision is really that to be a one-point solution for an SMB or a startup, which means it's a business account which solves multiple problems, and to that extent, we're trying to build partnerships. So like for example, one partnership that we're trying to build in India with a large ecosystem player is they work with thousands of companies in terms of managing their expenses, but they are a traditional physical or over email kind of, so they have teams who go visit clients' offices.
Correct.
So we're talking with them to build a solution which they can offer to their entire ecosystem of clients, right? And so it's a white label solution or it's a jointly co-branded solution where they just plug and play. So for us, the benefit is we can reach out to their thousands of customers. For them, the benefit is they can scale up their business many times over with perhaps lesser manpower. And for the end customers, the benefit is that they get a much better quality of service in terms of control, visibility, transparency. So it's pretty much a win-win for everyone in this kind of partnerships.
Great, Nirvikar. I think if we continue to talk, we'd continue to go on, and this will be running into a few hours. I've been closely associated with you and the Volopay team, and we have been working together from day one in India to try and create a solution. I would like to stop here. I would wanted to actually say that it was a great, insightful session with you. You have exchanged a lot of great ideas and thoughts. It's been great chatting with you, Nirvikar, today.
Thanks, Shyam. Likewise, it's always a pleasure. Especially M2P is such an integral part of our India business. So thanks once again for inviting me to this fireside chat, and really appreciate the fact that you have this initiative where you invite people from the fintech ecosystem and share our learnings and knowledge and ideas. We're very, very excited about this initiative, and thanks once again for inviting.
It's been a pleasure. Just to tell you, we are back with our fireside chat session. I'll probably call this the next season. We'll have some more coming in. We were very happy to have you with us today. And thanks for your time, Nirvikar. Thanks for taking time out late in the evening, spending time with us. Bye-bye. Take care. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Shyam.